As a child growing up in Greenville, South Carolina, Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. faced the harsh realities of segregation and the sting of social stigma. Born out of wedlock, he was often taunted by other children. Experiences, he later said, fueled his determination to succeed. Under the Jim Crow laws of the South, Jackson was taught to sit in the back of the bus and drink from colored water fountains, practices he accepted until the Montgomery bus boycott of 1955 opened his eyes to the power of protest and possibility of change. Jackson attended the racially segregated Sterling High School, where he was elected student body president, ranked 10th in his graduating class, and earned varsity letters in baseball, football, and basketball. After graduating in 1959, Jackson turned down a contract from a minor league baseball team to attend the University of Illinois on a football scholarship. But after 2 semesters at the predominantly white university, he transferred to North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro, a historically black college. At A&T, Jackson not only played quarterback but also won election as student body president and became deeply involved in local civil rights protests against segregation at libraries, theaters, and restaurants. He earned a bachelor's degree in sociology in 1964 before heading to Chicago Theological Seminary on scholarship to prepare for the ministry. Jackson left the seminary in 1966, 3 courses short of a master's degree, to devote himself fully to the civil rights movement. He was ordained in 1968, and decades later, in 2000, Chicago Theological Seminary awarded him a Master of Divinity degree, recognizing both his academic work and his lifetime of leadership and service. In Chicago, Jackson quickly became a prominent figure in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the organization founded by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He first worked with King in 1965 during the Selma to Montgomery marches, and later led the SCLC's economic arm, Operation Breadbasket, which pushed for fair employment and business opportunities for African Americans. Jackson was in Memphis with King on April 4, 1968, when King was assassinated. The killing marked a turning point in Jackson's life, cementing his commitment to continue King's mission of racial and economic justice. "I am somebody," Jackson would later proclaim, a phrase that became one of his enduring calls for dignity and empowerment.
I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be unskilled, but I am somebody. I am black, beautiful, proud. I must be respected. I must be protected. What time is it? When we stand together, what time is it? When we say no more yes to boss, what time is it? What time?
In 1971, he founded Operation Push, People United to Save Humanity, in Chicago, an organization aimed at expanding economic and educational opportunities in black communities. A decade later, he launched the Rainbow Coalition, later merged into the Rainbow Push Coalition to unite diverse groups, black, white, Latino, labor, and progressive, around issues of social justice and political reform.
And I think that the black community is driving for economic independence, for political independence, for military independence, for social, for religious and psychological independence, which means that we will control our community as do other ethnic groups. And I think it might need to be brought out that independence precedes interdependence. The white community is separate, but is separate and independent. The black community is separate, but is separate and dependent.
Jackson's national profile soared in the 1980s as he took his message of empowerment from the pulpit to the political stage. In 1984, he entered the Democratic presidential race, becoming the first major African-American candidate to mount a serious campaign for the White House. Running on a platform he called the Rainbow Coalition, Jackson sought to unite a broad base of Americans, the poor, the working class, farmers, laborers, students, and minorities, under a message of economic justice and inclusion.
If in my high moments I have done some good, offered some service, shed some light, healed some wounds, rekindled some hope, or stirred some run from apathy and indifference, or in any way along the way helped somebody, then this campaign has not been in vain.
Though he finished behind former Vice President Walter Mondale and Senator Gary Hart, Jackson's campaign made history. He won more than 3 million votes, carried several primaries and caucuses, and forced the Democratic Party to confront issues of racial and economic inequality more directly than ever before. His candidacy also helped expand black voter registration and participation nationwide. Undeterred, Jackson launched a second bid for the Democratic nomination in 1988. This time his campaign was more organized, his message more refined, and his appeal broader. He won 11 contests, including Michigan, Virginia, and Georgia, and captured nearly 7 million votes, finishing second to Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. Jackson's 1988 campaign broke new ground in American politics. His speeches, often delivered with the cadence of a preacher and the conviction of an activist, drew crowds across racial and regional lines.
It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. Suffering breeds character, character breeds faith. In the end, faith will not disappoint. You must not surrender. You may or may not get there, but just know that you're qualified and you hold on.
Our time has come, he declared, urging voters to build a rainbow America that reflected the nation's diversity and shared aspirations. Though he did not win the nomination, Jackson's back-to-back campaigns helped reshape the Democratic Party, opening doors for future generations of candidates of color. Many political observers have credited his runs with paving the way for leaders such as Barack Obama 2 decades later.
America will get better and better. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. On tomorrow night and beyond. Keep hope alive. I love you very much.
After his landmark presidential bids, Jackson remained a commanding presence in American politics and civil rights. While his name no longer appeared on the ballot, his influence stretched from City Hall to Capitol Hill and far beyond the nation's borders. In the years that followed, he returned his focus to the Rainbow Push Coalition, continuing to fight for economic equality, voting rights, and social justice. In the decades following his presidential campaigns, Jackson remained a tireless advocate for justice both at home and abroad. Through the Rainbow Push Coalition, he promoted economic empowerment in African American communities, championed voting rights, and pushed for corporate accountability. His efforts helped expand opportunities for minority-owned businesses and secure jobs in historically underserved neighborhoods.
Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. Everybody.
Jesse Jackson's Saturday Morning Forum is a long-running weekly gathering held at the Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters in Chicago. Part town hall, part civic classroom, and part community worship service, it has become a Chicago institution. Established during Reverend Jackson's early years in the city, the forum evolved into a must-visit stop for national political figures, clergy, activists, and cultural leaders passing through Chicago. Each week, the forum tackles pressing issues of the day: social justice, civil rights, community empowerment, and political participation, offering a space where information is shared, strategies are shaped, and voices from the grassroots are heard.
They need federal intervention. They don't have the budget for drug rehab. They need federal intervention. The imbalance in funding of public education must be rectified by the federal government. We need federal intervention. We need the Voting Rights Act enforced. We need federal intervention. Talk to me, somebody. We need the money directed from Iraq to Gary and to Milwaukee and Chicago. We need federal intervention.
Jesse Jackson also became a prominent figure on the world stage, often called upon to mediate in crises where governments found no way forward. Over the decades, he helped secure the release of hostages and prisoners in Syria, Kuwait, Iraq, Cuba, Kosovo, Gambia, and beyond. In 1984, he negotiated the freedom of a U.S. Navy pilot held in Syria, a daring act of private diplomacy that drew international praise.
Reverend Jackson's mission was a personal mission of mercy, and he has earned our gratitude and our admiration.
To the people around this nation who wore their blue ribbons as a measure of solidarity as we prayed together and fasted together, trying to rise above the everydayness of our lives that we might be able to secure the release of Lieutenant Robert Goodman and to gain his freedom and have a breakthrough for peace.
That same year, he traveled to Havana to meet personally with Fidel Castro, winning the release of 48 Cuban prisoners. Years later, in 2000, Jackson once again stepped into the global spotlight, helping free 4 journalists held in war-torn Liberia. Whether advocating for political prisoners in South Africa and Haiti, or speaking with adversaries few others would engage, Jackson's moral authority and belief in dialogue earned him recognition from world leaders, and at times, sharp debate at home. A civil rights icon and a global peacemaker, Jesse Jackson's reach extended far beyond America's borders. Throughout his life, Jackson's voice remained a fixture in American public life. He frequently spoke on issues of racial equality, education, and economic fairness, and he continued to mobilize communities around voter registration drives, grassroots organizing, and social activism. Even as he faced personal health challenges, including the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, Jackson remained active in public affairs well into his 80s, stepping down as president of Rainbow Push in 2023, but leaving the organization in strong hands. Jackson is survived by his wife Jacqueline, his 6 children, multiple grandchildren, and a wide circle of family, friends, and colleagues who carried forward his mission of justice and equality. Throughout his life, he balanced his public activism with a deep commitment to his faith, serving as a minister, mentor, and moral voice for countless Americans. Reflecting on his decades of work, Jackson often emphasized the power of hope, unity, and persistence. From the segregated streets of Greenville to the national political stage, his life was a testament to the belief that ordinary citizens can drive extraordinary change. Civil rights leaders, politicians, and admirers across the country hailed him as a bridge builder, a tireless advocate, and a trailblazer whose influence reshaped American society. The nation recalls not only the historic campaigns, speeches, and negotiations that marked his public career, but also the personal courage and unwavering commitment that defined a lifetime dedicated to the cause of justice. The Reverend Jesse Jackson once said that freedom is not just a right, it's a responsibility. He lived that truth. May his work continue through us, and may his voice always remind us that every person is somebody.
I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be in jail, but I am somebody. I may be uneducated, but I am somebody. I am black, beautiful, proud. I must be respected. I must be protected. I am somebody. Right on.
Thank you for watching this Word Network special presentation.